Hi, and welcome back to a new episode of My Solo Chronicles. This is April, and in this episode, I finish up my conversation with Prism as she continues to tell us about her journey in Germany. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
There were a bunch of Europeans in there bumping harder than me. I saw a girl with box braids, and for the first time, I was like, you know what? She looks nice in them. I don't know where a loctician is, but they did it up.
Girl, your hair is a lie.
Honestly. TheBomb.com.
I know, right?
I had so much fun because Jess is a nerd too. So being in there, listening to his own, once again, out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
And it was one of the, oh my God, now that I think about it, yeah, that's another comfort zone thing because I had always wanted to see artists in concert, but I had never done it before. So he was actually my very first live concert. And ever since then, I've made it a really obsessive habit, honestly, of going to concerts by myself.
Okay.
So there were just a lot of firsts in Germany.
Nice.
And it was just nice being able to walk the streets at night alone.
Okay.
So in addition to traveling to different cities, I took a lot of trips in nature. So I live just a short walk away from the Rhine River, the famous river everybody knows.
Right.
And I would just walk for hours and hours and hours, and I would just discover things. I discovered a petting zoo one time.
Oh my gosh.
I discovered some wild tomatoes growing next to the it was wild.
And that's the fun thing too about when you go and you venture out on your own. You start seeing things that most people would walk past, literally.
Yeah.
Because you're taking in the moment of just your surroundings, what you're seeing. So you start discovering stuff that even the locals probably didn't even notice.
And then one day I happened up onto a hiking trail up a mountain. And I had never climbed a mountain before, but I had always wanted to.
Okay.
And that started my not my Germany. It started my journey of climbing. So they called it's the Siebenberge, or Seven Mountains, but they also called it the Siebenkönigs, or the Seven Kings.
Okay.
So this particular area in the city of Bonn was surrounded by 7 mountains, and almost all of them had a castle at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made it my mission to climb all of them. It was so fun. And, walking around with friends, I realized that, by U.S. standards, I was the quietest one in my family.
Okay.
And just trying to talk normally to people in the U.S., they'll be like, speak up, I can't hear you, because we all got hearing damage, right?
Right.
But in Germany, having a good time chatting with people and then looking around and realize everyone's looking at you because you're the loudest one on the street, it really puts it in perspective for me.
Wow, you took that climb up those stairs and really came out of your shell. That's what makes it so fantastic.
Comfort zone where? I don't know her.
Oh my God.
But at the same time, there were some really tough situations too. One time I was walking to get pizza and I was on the phone with a friend, and I realized that I was winding through the neighborhood, right? I was taking so many turns.
Okay.
And I realized for the past 20 minutes or so, there was a guy who had been taking those exact same turns as me.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so I'm holding the pizza and I'm like, friend, I'll call you back. I think I'm being stalked. It was broad daylight, fortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I kept an eye on him. And I remember I was just taking really crazy turns.
Okay.
And he was always directly behind me.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. So what I like about my dorm is that the lobby area you can freely walk into, but everywhere else you need a key to get into.
Right.
So when I went through the lobby doors, because, it's at this point where I'm walking off into a closed off space where there are other people. Mm-hmm. You're a grown man. There's no way that you belong here.
Exactly. Right.
And I went through the lobby and he ran up to catch up with me before, to try to get inside. And I remember I didn't open the door.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, excuse me. He was speaking like German. And I'm just like, oh, I don't speak German. I don't speak German.
Right.
Ich spreche kein Deutsch.
Right.
And he was like, no, like, I need help. I need help. Sorry, my sister needs help. Can you help me? And I was like, no, I can't. I just kept saying 9.
Yeah.
9. And like, at this point, you know, when you're from the Deep South, you just see a lot of stuff. And so even though it was a very serious situation, I was just like laughing at how dumb he was. So I was just smiling like, no.
Right.
No.
Nice try, buddy, but I'm not opening this door.
Right. I'm hungry. I want to eat this pizza. That's what I want to do. And what really sealed it for me was that he pointed in like a certain direction and he said, my sister's car broke down. I just need help to push it out of the way.
Oh.
But where he was pointing was a walking trail. Like cars couldn't go down there.
So you were very aware of that. Nice. Nice.
And I was like, this guy is dangerous. So I'm shutting down the conversation. And these 2 students, like I remember I turned my head.
Okay.
And there was like this girl and this boy walking out of the dorm.
Okay.
And when I turned back, he was already halfway down the street.
Wow, because he saw them coming. So now it's not only now you standing in the hallway. There's like 2 other people coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I slipped inside. I made sure the door was locked, and then I immediately called the cops.
Okay.
And it's funny because it was my first time calling the cops. Yeah. So I accidentally called the fire department.
I mean, cops, fire department, they all in the law.
Send somebody.
Send somebody.
Either you're going to arrest him or hose him down. One of them, like,
one of the 2.
Come over here.
Or help his pretend sister pull her car out of the ditch somewhere.
Right. Oh my God, she needs help.
Exactly.
But in that moment, when I finally did get connected to the cops, they like, you know, you get to the point where you like start describing.
Okay.
And I remember the operator said he was Arab, wasn't he? And that's another thing that I realized because, you know, not every interaction that I had with a person was nice, especially because I was going through my own like struggles with my identity. So I was wearing a lot of head wraps back then, like head wraps and dashikis.
Okay.
And so I remember that people would treat me differently if they saw me with a head wrap because I immediately went from African to Arab, which is the same thing, of course. But
right. Okay.
So that was like my introduction into the issues with like immigration or their attitudes toward immigration and how like these 2 cultures, honestly, it's a multicultural city. So really many cultures were clashing.
Okay.
And, you know, crime was up in certain areas.
Okay.
And, yeah, it was just really, it really just put into perspective, like, how I still need to look after myself.
True.
Like, even though it's much safer than the USA.
True.
People, you know, can still be out to get you.
That's one of the things, like, when I started this podcast, and especially when I started traveling, I would get people say, why are you doing this by yourself? It's not safe. And it's just like, okay, first off, I'm smart enough to know safety's going to come first. I'm not just going to travel like, oh, I'm just going to go to this place and not even pay attention to my surroundings. It's like, no, when you start planning stuff, safety has to be the first and foremost thing on your list before anything. Yeah. And it was smart that you were able to realize, okay, this situation doesn't seem correct. So did that shape, after that situation happened, going forward with your time in Germany, were you more aware of your surroundings, especially if you did that walking path?
Definitely. And I hate to say it, but, you know, I started, those thoughts started coming back like, see, this is why you should have just isolated, just stay in your room and study.
Exactly.
We got things to do, go to class, come back.
Yeah.
Go with friends. Because they gave us all of the safety resources, but I'm so stubborn, right? They're like, you always need to travel with friends.
Right.
And I was just like, no, like, I'm going to handle myself and, or get deported trying, right? I ain't going to get hurt, but somebody else might.
Exactly. That sounds like something I just said the other day.
Oh!
You can try it if you want to. You're going to find out. And then I'm going to be deported.
We have to talk about that.
I know, and then we're going to be deported. I know.
What if I got to lose?
I know, exactly.
So I definitely became more aware of my surroundings. I was sad to say that I was out walking less, so I wasn't getting as much exercise as I wanted to.
Okay.
But whenever I was out, I would be, it would always be almost always being during a certain time of the day. And I would always go where there were more people. So I stopped going off the beaten path, if you will.
Smart move, definitely.
And there would be times where, late at night, I would like really want some pizza or something. Okay. And there was like this 24-hour pizza shop. So in Germany, they don't really do the mozzarella thing unless you ask them.
Okay.
Their cheese of choice on pizza is Gouda.
Ah, okay. I'm not a big fan
at first
of Gouda,
I was like,
but
yeah,
it has to grow on you.
I like it, but after a while it grew on me. I'm like, I want that Gouda. Well, I remember, and this is like a whole other conversation about gender identity, but I remember like dressing in a way that made me look like a boy.
Oh, okay.
Finding my chest, wearing like these basketball shorts, putting my hair up in like this like updo with an afro.
Okay.
And walking really, 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 really fast to the pizza shop. And when I made it back in one piece that one time, I wanted to do it again and again and again. And thus night walks and night jogs were born.
Ah, interesting.
And once again, I was out there taking risks.
Right.
And essentially like walking around with a pretty big stick. So we could carry things on us.
Okay.
We just couldn't like take them to the airport, or they couldn't be knives unless we were like hunting or camping.
Okay.
But I was still allowed to protect myself. And so I was just, I got this gift from my dad. It was like this cute little keychain, but it was actually like a little pink bottle of pepper spray.
Okay. So
I carried that with me, like my life depended on it. And I learned how to mean mug.
Right.
And it was really those times when I would feel vulnerable that somebody would try me.
Okay.
But in those moments, especially at night, no one even dared to. I got really good at lying. Like one time I went to a party, got a little drunk.
Okay.
And these guys paid for me to get a taxi home. And it was my first ever time in a taxi.
Okay.
And this guy, he was like asking me like, oh, where are you from? And this and that. And I was just lying. I like all of a sudden I became this person from Canada, but her parents were stationed in Germany in the military. Dad's African, mom's half German. Okay. I lived on the base for a while. He's right around the corner. He could kick your ass if I had called him and asked him to. And I was like, no, Dad, I wanted to learn German. So he paid for my education. I'm in his dorm now.
Wow, you came all of the story.
On the spot, too. I'm like, let me go back to improv class.
That's what's up. That's awesome.
But I think the best time and the scariest time that I ever had was when I went to Oktoberfest.
Oh, I heard Germany's Oktoberfest is on a whole different level. Oh my god.
I didn't even know they had roller coasters. And I'm like, why are we drunk?
Wait, hold on. You just told me something I didn't even know. Wait, they got roller coasters?
It's a whole amusement park.
What? See, I didn't even know that. I just learned something today. Oktoberfest, here I come. And I don't even drink.
So... right? Don't. Especially if you're going on a roller coaster, don't do it. I made that mistake.
Right.
Wait, should we keep that for another podcast? It's a whole story.
You have to come back on and share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I went. Those are all the places, that's the expenses I
had. So before you even went to Germany for like this year to just study, how did you feel? Like what was, because technically this is something solo you're doing by yourself. You're leaving the country. How were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you like, why am I doing this?
All of the above and more. I was excited, I was nervous, I was eager, and I had that push factor, right? I was anxious to get out. I was anxious to live a life where maybe, I was questioning for the first time in my life, is there a life that I can live without discrimination? Is there a life that I can live where I feel safe going outside?
Right.
What is a life like without guns involved? What is a life in an environment that values proper recycling, not like just the buzzword of recycling when it's actually burning?
Right.
How does that feel? How does it feel being in a place where people strike regularly because they're protected by unions and things actually get done? That's another thing I learned about Germany. When people say they're going to do something and within a certain time frame, you best believe that by the time that time frame is up, it's done and some.
Exactly. Right.
Wow. And it really just opened up my eyes. And that same charismatic guy that was a get out of your comfort zone was also trying to radicalize me. He was like, you want better recycling at home? Fight for it. Strike for it. Keep writing letters. Annoy them until they do something about it. And I'm like, bro, I'm in the country. I grew up on a farm. I don't know if recycling can reach us out there.
But thanks for the tips. I'm gonna hold that in my mind
and apply it somewhere. I don't know where. But those thoughts of the what if kept me going. And I would honestly say that my true feelings deep down was like excitedness, of course. A little bit of uncertainty because I'm going into the unknown. But a lot of the fear and anxiety, those weren't my feelings. Those were feelings pushed onto me by my family.
Okay.
Because they didn't want me to leave. They were afraid something bad was going to happen to me. When I tell you I desensitized them to that real quick after this trip to Germany. Nowadays they're just like, well, good luck, baby.
Yeah. Because you've proven yourself.
Right.
But you know what? That's to be expected because it's just like, you're coming home and you're telling your family, oh, yeah, I'm going to go out of the country. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Germany. I'm sorry, say what now? You're going to do what? Why? Who you been talking to?
And my parents are go-getters, so it wouldn't just be like an argument of, this is all the reasons why you need to stay, even though it was definitely that too. But it was, oh, you're going there? When are you going there? How are you going to get your ticket? How are you going to get transport to the airport? What time are you leaving? What time are you landing? Have you gotten a hostel already? Since you're arriving a couple days early before you get into your dorm. Like, they pushed me to have a plan at the very least.
That's awesome.
And so I had my itinerary. Yeah. I had my flight itinerary, I had my tickets, I had my luggage. I was arranging for transport, but my dad was like, okay, like, you've proven yourself. Like, I'll take you. Like, don't even worry about it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, thank you, Dad. I need to run. I was buzzing.
I know, right? Because the thing is, too, it's just like I always tell people when I'm planning somewhere, like if I set my mind on somewhere that I'm going to go, I say procrastination is my middle name because I will plan. So that's where the procrastination comes in at, because I want to make sure that I have a list of everything I need to do. Because you just can't just free willy-nilly just say, oh, I'm going to go to Germany. And like your parents said, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do this? You have to have a list. You can't just go. Because that is a recipe for something terribly going wrong. So I'm glad that your parents kind of set you straight, like, okay, we're going to let you go, but what's the game plan here? So I think that's like the awesome part of everything. And it also taught you, like, going forward, not only Germany, but all your other, adventures solo. You have to plan. Now, had you been to Germany before?
No, it was my first time. They were like, your sister went to Spain for 3 months.
Yeah.
Your other sister went to California for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Why did you choose a year plus as your first time out of the nation? You don't want to go down the street and camp for a bit?
Exactly.
To get a taste of what it's like?
You didn't want to
You haven't even had your own apartment.
Exactly. Go for a few days. Oh no, you still Germany straight. But you know what? Like you said earlier, I see why. Because Germany is there's so much history there, and just things that I've heard would make me want to just bounce to Germany as well. So, would you go back if you ever had that opportunity, or have you been back since?
I haven't been back yet, but
Okay.
I do want to go back. I've actually, so even though I'm struggling through learning Japanese right now,
Me too, girl. Me too.
still, so rough. Why the 3 alphabets? I'm tired.
I'm still learning how to count in Japanese, okay?
Right? Keep mixing 7 and 9 up. It just sounds too familiar.
It sounds the same.
So I haven't been back yet, but I would go back again because honestly, this has been my reasoning. I spent way too much money in university to learn this language and not put it to good use.
Exactly.
So when I flew to Japan, I flew all my little German books with me.
Nice.
I still regularly attend online forums on Discord where you can speak conversational German to people. And there are some people that I made promises to that I was going to come back. There was a shopkeeper. It was like an Asian shop.
Okay.
Oh, he had the best vegetarian dishes. And he was so nice, but it was so interesting because he spoke German so well, but he spoke it with, it was like a mix between English and Australian.
Oh, nice.
I would be like, oh, hello. I'm like, there's so many questions that I have. So I would come to his shop almost every week or like right after class.
Okay.
And we had developed a really good relationship. And on my last day, I was like, I'm leaving tomorrow. And he, for the first time, came from behind the counter and hugged me.
Aww.
And he was like, you're going to come back one day, right? And I was like, yeah, and you're the first place I'm going to go to.
Oh, so you have to honor that promise. You have to go back.
Yes.
And that should be the first stop when you get to Germany.
Right. As soon as I get off that train, I'm going to be so hungry. I'm running straight to his shop.
Straight to his shop. So with that being said, as far as just solo traveling and with this whole Germany adventure, how did your perspective on traveling change on either yourself or just traveling solo in general?
So I'll start with what didn't change.
Okay. Let's start with that.
So the one thing that has stayed consistent with me ever since that day when I secured that flight and I secured a hostel in the same day, felt so triumphant, was, you know what? It's okay to be a little delulu. It's okay. It gets you places.
Exactly.
My dad was like, so you're just going to go to Germany? How are you going to do that? And I was like, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. He's like, what? That is not a response that I feel comfortable about, dear.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, Dad. Calm down.
Exactly. And you know what? It is okay. It's okay to be a little delulu, because what it does is it dissolves all of those mental barriers of me focusing on what I can't do or what could go wrong.
True.
And it opens up new paths. I didn't even know what a hostel was. And then I was searching, and all of a sudden, here's a new word. Here's a new phenomenon. I can buy the ticket now if I wanted to, right?
Right.
So that changed. Another one is, as long as I know the laws of an area, I can always protect myself.
Exactly. Yep.
Especially because they have a completely new or a completely different idea, or Germany specifically, they have a completely different idea of how legal matters should be handled.
True.
Like, I had to call the cops a couple times.
Okay.
And when you don't know something, people, service members, Beamten, they call them, or Beamter, they're trained to educate someone.
Okay.
And then another perspective is always keep that light in your eyes. That willingness to learn, because people will see it.
Okay.
And when they see that you're willing to learn, they're drawn to wanting to help.
Yep. I love that last part, because I literally just said something along the lines of that with my best friend back home, who's actually coming to Japan for the first time. And I told her, I said, the one or two things I will say when you come here, because you're coming into someone's home, show respect and have that willingness to learn from the people and the culture, and you'll be surprised at how much they are willing, or they're going to be willing to help you,
Yeah.
And you have that is a great perspective. You have to be open to adapt to your surroundings. And when people see that, like you said, that light in your eyes, you're going to be able to navigate through wherever you're at just with people helping. Yeah.
And not trying to preach, but I do have 2 cheesy mottos.
Share those cheesy models. Share them.
So the first one is, don't stress out, work it out.
Oh, okay. I'm still in that one.
And it's the same version, but they're different words. Don't pressurize, organize.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And I like to think of it as like a pressure cooker that's about to like boil over.
Mm-hmm.
And turning the temperature a certain way to the correct temperature that they said in the instructions. And getting all organized on the inside. So not only does a person have to sort out their emotions, why do I want to do that? Like, what is my why? And hold on to that.
Exactly.
What are my anxieties? Let's write it down, sort it out one by one. Like this, locate the problem, find a solution, but also we don't have to jump into this blind. Like, yeah, you want to run, you want to get away, you want to see the world. Yeah, make a plan. Exactly. Writing things down is so powerful.
Exactly.
Writing down a plan, then redrafting that plan. And like, especially as a Black woman from the USA, South USA, who's worried about racism, honestly, no shade to Russia, but honestly, unless you go to Russia, already seen... You've already seen the worst way people can treat you.
True.
As like a Black woman in the USA, the worst has already happened.
That's true.
And because of that, it's so easy to navigate through the hardships, especially in like select countries. So easy to navigate through the hardship and just, let it roll off your back. Be yourself. Don't worry about the way other people think about you or view you. They're always going to have their opinion of you, and none of them matter. Because the only thing that matters is how I feel about myself.
Exactly. That is awesome. And that actually...
Take those pictures.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you first. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, because everything that you just said really segues into what I was going to ask you about, like, what advice can you give someone who's even thinking about taking that first solo trip? And I love it. But continue with your point.
Oh, thank you. My bad. I forgot about that. I was preaching.
You preach, girl. You go ahead and preach.
So being focused on how I feel and not how other people feel about me, it really reflects how I not only behave, but also how I treat myself. And people see that and they're like, wow, this person has so much respect for them. I want to help them.
Right.
Or I want to uplift them.
Right.
And sometimes you just walk into a room, or somebody walks into the room, and that whole room shifts, for better or worse, right?
Right.
Everybody feels it, and for me, it just happens to be for better. I walked into this shop one day, and the guy, he was probably a little lit. He was like the shopkeeper. He saw me. He was like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "The USA."
Yeah.
And he puts on "Beat It" by Michael Jackson and started singing it with me. Like, "You like this one?" I was like, "Yeah." Immediately clocked. This girl knows how to party.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's one of the things that I love about just like traveling and even living in Japan now. Because I have people that will walk up to me and say, "Where are you from?" And I'll say, "Oh, I'm from America." And then, of course, with Michigan, I always do the whole like hand thing because Michigan is the only state that's shaped like a glove. And I'll say, "Oh, I'm from Michigan."
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll point in the middle of my hand and I'm from Detroit. And it just opens up a line of communication that is just absolutely amazing. And it's been whether they speak my language, a little bit of it, or they don't speak it at all. And that's great. And that's what I tell people. It's just like wherever you go, you adapt to where you're at, because you will be surprised at if that energy is good, it will attract good energy, and people will be so willing to just invite you into their world. Yeah.
Like moths to a flame. And I used to think that was dangerous.
Right.
Because I could attract anybody, like good people, bad people.
Right.
But I remember one lady, she was dangerous. She proved herself to be dangerous.
Right.
But she didn't come for me. And one day she told me, she said, "Prism, the first time I met you, I thought that your personality shined like the sun. But then later I realized you are the sun. And I don't want to get burned."
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, "Keep your distance. You right."
And you
stay
know,
over there.
And I remember I told you the other day, I said your personality is literally light, because you just shine and you attract people to you. And it's just like, it's absolutely amazing. It is so amazing. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Keep that light.
Last little bit of advice. My last little bit of Delulu advice.
we getting Delulu advice, y'all, from Prism. Write this down.
Take those pictures. Take those videos. I know a lot of people say, when you're taking the pictures and the videos, you're not living in the moment. You got to put that phone down, put that camera down, and live in the moment. But I only think that we aren't living in the moment when we take those pictures for others and not ourselves.
Right. Like,
if we're trying to flex on somebody who don't even matter back home, we probably don't even think about us. And if they are, they're not healthy.
Exactly.
Like, unless a person is like a social media influencer and they're making money off of like posting things online to flex, take those photos and videos for you, because you're going to look back on that and you're going to remember how far you've come, where you were in that moment, all of those doubts that you had, all of those fears that you pushed past, and it's going to inspire you to want to take more pictures and videos, but a completely new area. And then you're going to want to do it again and again and again. And you're going to be proud of that 20-year-old version, that 25-year-old version, 30-year-old version, 40, 50, 70 even. I've met a lot of women in so many different stages of life in my travels, and they all have said the same thing: just be a little Delulu, just a little bit.
Be a little
with a lot of planning.
Exactly. I love that. Because those pictures and those videos are just memories frozen in time in your stages, like you just said. I absolutely love that. And I absolutely love that you came on my podcast and just shared your solo journey, which is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna have you come back on because we got some other solo stuff we got to talk about as well. So thank you so much, Prism, for just sharing with us, giving us advice, giving us Delulu advice. I'm still in that Delulu advice. I love that.
Absolutely. Coin it, print it.
I will print them with t-shirts. Yes.
I'll be the first one in line to buy one. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Thank you so much for just opening up your space. I feel it's such a safe, beautiful, loving, bright space.
Oh, thank you. Because you know what? I started this podcast not only to share my journey, but I want to bring other people into this space to share their journey to inspire other people. Because I've met so many people that have said, well, I want to, but... And it's like, no, you can do it. And there's people out there that can help you or show you how they did it. You can do it too. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Prism. And as I always say, my moonbeams, have a great rest of the day. And I will talk to you later. Bye.